because then people would be getting annoyed with us.
Oh, is it me? I thought Dave was going to.
Well, he's getting a coffee. Snooze, you lose. He can come in. We might...
I feel like his wife, his beautiful wife.
If we have to pad out this intro, you might have to do a thing. Good morning, everybody. Why are you all at the back? We've got a whole empty room here. There were 91 RSVPs.
Yeah.
And the weather said no. Everyone stay at home, apparently.
Just because it's raining doesn't mean we don't get to talk about business.
That's better. Yeah, now it feels...
cozier.
Packed. Oh, we're packed out now. Hello to everyone on the live stream. Hopefully there's 91 on the live stream right now.
Hey.
Remember the dad jokes? They're coming later. All right. Who hasn't been to Morning Startup before? All right. A couple of new faces. Welcome. Welcome, everybody.
Well done.
So, intros.
We are Morning Startup. We're organised by Dave.
At the back
Scott.
there. Where's your coffee?
Aaron is away today. And me, Nina. We've been going for more than 13 years, right?
13 years, yep. That's right. Every 2 weeks, rain, hail or shine, we'll have an event on, put on an interesting speaker. It's live streamed for when the weather's bad. And, yeah, thanks for the folks coming down. But we are startup founders ourselves. It's run by founders, for founders, and we try and put on content that brings cool people into the same space because I want to speak to cool people in my day-to-day life and learn from you guys. And, yeah, that's what we're about. So hopefully you're in that situation. We've got a speaker coming today. She's stuck in traffic due to the apocalyptic weather, and she said she would be here in half an hour, and that was about 15 minutes ago, or 20 minutes ago. So hopefully she rocks up anytime and we get into it.
You guys get to speak.
Yes. Because what we like to do first is shameless plugs and announcements. So the way it works is you stand up and you tell us what you're working on, what you need from this person startup community, and we've got a volunteer at the back already.
No, I'll do it.
Can I just say, sorry, I wasn't taking a picture of you. I was scanning your QR code. There's a saying which is always be branding, and if you haven't scanned Nina's QR code, it takes you to a website which is about Nina. That's awesome.
Actually, it doesn't. It takes you to get in contact with me, and you can text it.
It takes you to Scott and I's OnlyFans page. Anyway, joking aside, my name's Dave. I am a founder like the rest of you. My shameless plug shout out is I'm actually looking for 3 staff, I think I've got 1 already now, or 2 staff to come and join us for Scale Up for a number 3 months to help us in the finance team. So if you've got finance experience and you are looking for, or you know someone who's like a uni grad student or something like that, then come and speak to me. We're paying some good money, but we just got a bit of a hump we need to get over in the next financial year. So looking for someone to join us between now and sort of like September time on a semi-full-time basis.
What kind of work is it? Is it like going through, reconciling bank accounts, or is it like financial thinking and strategy?
No, it's in the finance team, but it's kind of like triaging emails and stuff like that. So it's very administrative focus, but yeah. Like I say, we're literally just next door, so it's right in the city here, and you'll get to experience a little bit what scale-up life is like. So,
VC-funded tech startup in Perth. If you want to get some experience, why not? Get into it.
Yeah.
Did we also mention the thing? Did we also mention? Have we got a slide? Because you might have the email that we got late last night from Lockie about the.
Oh, Purpose Ventures going to do another. Info session?
Is it on there?
No, well, we've got Purpose Ventures on here as a thing, but no.
I'll let you mention it when you get to that slide.
All right.
I'll
let you mention it because I don't know quite what you're talking about, but all right.
We're getting the time anyway, so I will just mention it. Give me 2 seconds.
It's like they have a dinner every once in a while, and it's really, really good. The dinner and the information as well. Anyone else has a...
Yeah, let's get some other shameless plugs going. Cool.
So my name's Josh. I've got a few things going on. So I run operations for a company called Haztech Solutions, but outside of that, we've started a separate business called Blackout Performance. So it's sort of wellness-based. So then John as well, just sitting over there quietly. We've started building these containers, and inside these containers are we've got a sauna and an ice room and a cool room and that. So it's a containerised solution, and we're going to lease them out to mine sites and stuff. So for us, we're probably looking for people in the wellness industry or anyone with connections within mine sites, stuff like that. We'd be happy to speak to everyone about that.
Fantastic. That sounds awesome. Yeah, come have a chat with me later. I think I know some folks in that area.
Awesome.
Yay!
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Sam. I'm from Biz365. We offer development services as well as IT solutions. So if you've got a corporate network that you need set up, we sort of do that sort of work. And I'm actually looking for someone to come on as a help desk lead. So if you know anyone in that sort of space who's interested in joining sort of a smaller, tight-knit team, reach out to me.
What about people making AI agents to handle that role?
Yeah,
You want a human still?
we can automate it.
All right.
All right, good morning, everybody. I have an idea I'm putting together. So basically, last year I was doing a lot of process optimization, and I found that a lot of times when decision makers and directors of businesses try to add on new tools, softwares, and strategies, it kind of causes more bureaucracy, chaos in the business. And I realized there's a lot of vagueness and blurriness. So I'm trying to build something that's more like an operational efficiency X-ray tool that helps businesses understand the business first before trying to add on something. And that way it won't waste resources. They can see revenue leaks and everything. So I find a lot of tools out there quite technical. And a lot of software guys I talk to, like Michael and his business partner, a few other guys, quite techy, but try to make things easy for the non-techy guys. So I would like to get some guys to validate it and just kind of break it down and see what's going wrong with it. So yeah.
Okay. So it's like connect out to Xero and your financial apps and pulls in information, or?
How to describe it? More like, it's more like, I guess, the way I describe it is more like a central nervous system, understanding more like a blueprint, like an enterprise architecture as well as structure. And then you can start adding stuff basically trying to build a house.
But you've got to feed it your info somewhere.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, basically. So connect to.
We'll have a chat about it later.
Yeah.
Let's give it a go. Give it a go.
Cool.
One down the back. Cool.
Yes. Hello. I'm confusing because I have an American accent and I'm visiting from New Zealand. And I'm Michelle, this is Julia. And we're just here for a couple days because we have just launched in Perth our tech company. So thank you. Yeah, we decided, so we have it in New Zealand and Singapore, and we're intentionally in Perth because what we do is help people find fractional leaders. So I don't know if you guys have ever heard of fractional leadership, but a lot of people are looking for help in various areas. This is like peer level to you as a founder. So this is like somebody who runs your sales or operations or marketing, and they work for you less than 5 days a week on a day rate. And we basically created a yellow pages-like directory that's completely free for people to use, because if we get these people jobs, then we take a cut from them. So there's literally no reason to not use it. And there's 58 people in Perth, and we started with 43 in New Zealand 2 years ago, and now have 530 people, and we have 1,000 people across Asia Pacific that are just hanging out, really wanting to work with cool founders. So the URL is fractional.directory. If you want to go check out the site and talk to me and Jules about it while we're here until I fly out tonight. So.
Wow. Fractional.directory. Get on it. Cool.
That's exciting.
You guys speak to Lee Goldsworthy.
Lee's our guy here.
Awesome.
Oh, sorry. Morning, everyone. Happy Hump Day. My name's Tom. I'm from Everest Engineering. Moved here over Easter and looking to try and launch the business in the West Coast. Everest is a product and software consultancy that help scale-ups, startups and enterprise businesses build their product and their digital product teams. And I guess in this space, looking to try and tap into the local network and community and ecosystem and get a sense of what's what over here. So any introductions or technical questions around supporting in that leadership space, grab me at the end of the day.
Cool. So is it for hiring team members or scaling in AWS?
So augmentation, sort of capacity and capability uplift.
Yeah.
So providing extra team members. We've got 250 people across Australia, India and Malaysia. So I guess it's that sort of local team versus offshore capability. And then also tech guidance. So getting you to the right spot to build MVP and then scale from there in the startup space.
Everest Engineering.
Everest Engineering, yeah.
Cool. Get on it. More shameless plugs?
More. Yay!
All right. Sorry, for those that came in late, our speaker is sort of stuck in this apocalyptic weather and traffic, so we might be just padding this out a bit.
Hey everybody, my name is Michael. I run a company called Extensor, and we build MVPs. Well, we market for MVPs, but we build any application that you have, I suppose. We're on the lookout for devs to join our team. Maybe we should speak to Tom, but yeah. If you know anybody who's a JavaScript or Next.js developer, if you could put them in touch with us, that'd be great. Thank you.
All right. Or me, I also do JavaScript and Next.js. Just compete for the good devs.
I think you're fine. It's okay.
All right. Anyone else want to do a shameless plug?
Oh, cool.
Oh, okay, cool.
Hello everybody, this is Kamal. I run a company called guyplus.com. So I realized removability industry is lowest, and as my background is mechatronics, which means I integrate various engineering. I sell various 3D printed products, and yesterday only I started one project called stair climbing machine. So if anybody is interested in jumping on such projects, feel free to come with me. Thank you.
All right, awesome. By the way, we've got food at the back,
Yes.
and coffee is free for those folks that came in late. Just grab one from Joey Zaz's.
I want to do a shameless plug as well.
Ah, do it.
So I am looking for, especially like regional artists and tailors, makers, to connect with, because my company Made Up is connecting global tailors and customers, but also Australian artists as well. So I'm really, really interested in connecting with them. So because we have this big event coming up, and before we do that, we really want to offer Australian printed clothing as well, like art on our clothing. That'd be really cool.
Right.
Because people want it. Like that's what I got from our testing.
Does anyone know any cool artists?
Yeah.
Damn.
Oh, maybe
live stream.
online as well. This is why maybe someone who's watching a live stream knows someone.
Does anyone do super awesome like doodles in their spare time? Just
Yeah. Well, look, like we have had people send in their art to be printed. So.
fantastic.
Maybe.
Or just QR codes. That looks awesome. Yeah. All right. Well, we'll move on, and hopefully Maggie gets here soon. So, Founder Sundowner, if you're not a morning person or the weather's terrible, you come along on the first Wednesday of every month.
So tonight?
It is too.
Yes.
I might be late, but yes, come along tonight at the other side of nowhere.
This is great.
Calendar fail. All right, good. Yes, so we've got pizzas. Pizzas are free, but it is buy your own drinks unless there's someone that wants to shout. Okay. So thanks to Jitsi. We've got a few sponsors that we just want to go through because running this stuff is not free, and we get people to help pay for that. Jitsi is one of them. So they're the Department of Jobs, Science, Tourism and Innovation. They have a range of programs that you guys can get involved with, regardless of the size of your startup. If you're just getting started, they have the Innovation Booster Grants, which is $40,000, and you just apply, and they've got, I think, 4 sittings throughout the year, or at least that's the way it was. Commercialisation Bridge Grant, where you get $200,000 of match funding, so if you're raising money, it's a good way to boost it a little bit more. And a range of other things, if you're in investors or life science or cyber. Get around it. Thank you, Jitsi. All that expensive camera equipment at the back and live streaming it to everyone that didn't want to get up today. Thank you very much.
Get on Deal Room if you're not on it.
Absolutely.
As well.
Yeah, Deal Room. Charlie, like a couple of years ago, that launched, so you can put all your startups' information into dealroom.co, and it sort of helps track the WA innovation system, ecosystem.
Yeah, but also if you are on it, then that means that you will be in the Google directory, and then if you look for your business on maybe ChatGPT, it will also crawl this and be like, this is a Western Australian business. So.
Good point. Yes. AI optimization, not just SEO anymore.
No.
Make sure you're getting picked up by those things. Perth Video. Thank you, Jürgen and Reese up there with the camera for doing the stream. If you want to check it out, go to perthvideo.com, Morning Startup Perth with hyphens, or scan the QR code. And there's not only the live stream from today, but also past events that we've held hosted on that page, so you can check out any event. And
if you need video services as well, Perth Video is a great place to get those services.
Absolutely. Who's got an event coming up and they're like, freaking awesome if we live stream this, like a wedding. Okay.
Look.
You know who to contact when you do. All right. Ammo Marketing?
Yeah, like they have helped over 250 startups. Did you know that?
Is that right?
Yes. And yeah. They also have a podcast with growth marketing. Is that?
Yeah,
yes.
The Weird Growth Podcast. So everyone subscribe to that. Good, yes. Good. Yeah, it's a really good podcast with Perth-based founders and folk. Yeah.
Yeah, and also like their services are based for founders and for startups, and they are a startup themselves. So it makes for and the way they say that they work with startups is they will give you relentless feedback, and so they're not going to spare your feelings, but they're also going to help you, and they are going to treat it as their own startup. So that means that they will, help as much as possible, which is what you want.
Yeah, exactly. One cool thing about them is they actually say no too. So if you're not quite ready for their services, they'll let you know and point you in a better direction. So, Beecham Group. Have we got 30 seconds of insights from Glenn today? So Glenn runs an awesome recruitment company in Perth. So if you're looking for people, or you are a person and you need to get a good job, hit up Glenn.
Cool. All right, thank you. What's up? All right, I'll do end of financial year snapshot. How's that?
Okay.
Easy. All right, so obviously you're 4 weeks out or whatever it is for end of financial year. It's the second most popular time for staff attrition to happen too. So in WA and across Australia in the tech world, attrition rates have been quite low over the last 12, 18 months. That's starting to change as the market starts to change its cycle. Be wary if you haven't done a stay interview or reconnected with your staff old school, i.e. do a walk and talk, grab a coffee, get them in the office, do something that's D-Tech, please. I would strongly recommend that you do it, because you want to be proactive and not reactive and get the, hey Scott, can we have a chat? Because those convos sometimes suck.
Absolutely.
All right, part two. It's an old school term. It's called key man insurance, which is basically around succession planning and making sure that if you've got key staff in your business, if you haven't documented what they do, but moreover what they do in terms of role and responsibilities and what they're what's required to achieve success in that role, do it. So you need to have a contingency in the event that particular person leaves or people leave, that you've got a backup plan. So in an old school IT term, what's your disaster recovery and business continuity plan?
Yep.
That's it.
How many people are here one-man bands in their company right now? Couple. All right. Got a contingency plan, Raymond, when you He's going to do my LinkedIn videos, which are awesome, by the way. Go follow Raymond on LinkedIn. All right, Keep Space. So for the food up the back, that's not free. Keep Space pay for it. Thank you very much, Jessie.
Yeah, they pretty much help with delivery and packaging and logistics of delivery is incredibly frustrating, and Keep Space can definitely help with that. And they have tiers, so it's not like you have to be a massive business in order to use them, which is very cool.
Yeah. So 3PL, if that's an acronym, and they've got warehouse here in Perth and Melbourne, can help you ship stuff around the place. Really cool. Purpose Ventures. So who hasn't heard of Purpose Ventures? All right. So they're a VC here in Perth, one of the very few venture capital firms in WA, and they particularly look for WA founders and companies. I think they've got a mandate. Was it 80%? Or it needs to be from WA?
89% businesses and the rest.
Yeah.
Over East.
So, and purpose-driven founders particularly. So if you're in that space, they can help you out with money. And if they don't invest in your startup, they can shout you a coffee every second week. So thank you, Purpose Ventures. Much appreciated.
Is that there will be an informational dinner again? Is that...
Hopefully, yeah. So, we're kind of like booked out with morning startup speakers up until October time.
Yes.
So, but they'll be doing a presentation at some point. An info session.
We always get a sum up crowd whenever we're talking about money. So we had an email last night from Lockie at Purpose Ventures, and for those of you, in fact, who's been on one of their evenings, their dinners? Yeah, it's very, very insightful. Basically, what they've done before in the past is they've got a load of founders in together. They've then given them a talk. They've explained to them how to go and get VC ready. I'd recommend as well, if any of you are looking to go and get investment, go back onto perfvideo.com and look at Morning Startup and look at past events. And I think it is February last year, 2024, in and around that date, where Derek gave a chat about how to get VC ready, and it's one of the things, the VCs are always monitoring you from the second you walk in the door to the second that you're on the call. They are seeing how you react and how you do it. So they did a chat for that where they brought people in, and I think from Lockie's message, and I could be wrong, they could be doing some more. So as soon as we hear, we'll let you know. But go and check out Purpose, and thank you Derek and the crew there and Kylie for the coffees. They're very nice.
Awesome. Thanks, Dave. Next slide. Space Cube, this awesome space. It's run by a company called Space Cube. They have Riff, Flux and Fern down the road and some places in Sydney if you need a place to work. It's the coolest place to do it.
It really is.
Make sure you subscribe to Startup News. Make sure you're a member of Startup WA. They're our sort of body for lobbying to government and getting all that cool stuff from Jitsi. Jitsi, there we go. And the Plus 8 Accelerator.
It's a massive one.
Yeah.
They've just started, and they have some really, really cool businesses as well.
Yeah. So if you want to learn to be a better founder, then you can apply to Plus 8. And,
Yeah. Oh.
In the midst of stalling for time.
Yeah.
Because we're getting quite close.
Speed networking too.
Yeah. In the midst of speaking for time, Maggie is on her way. Did you see the report that came out this week for Perth? In the global, where we sit in the global startups rank, it was on the site. Who here subscribed to Startup News? Go and, if you're not, go and subscribe. You get a little bit of nugget. Go and follow them on LinkedIn, on Facebook, all the bits. But one of the statistics is that we here in Perth, unfortunately, have fallen in the global rankings.
No.
Yes, quite considerably as well. So we are now 4th overall in Australia. I think it was like 92nd overall in the world now, or something. Probably is lower than that. I'll dig it out. But it just means that we need to work a little bit harder in creating some more awesome startups here.
Yeah.
It's there is. I've actually. Is my laptop there?
You need a positive spin on this thing.
I know. I need to spin this, but it's a down. It is a downer, unfortunately. Yeah. It is. Unfortunately, it's. It is. The data comes from. There is a slide here.
Deep dive.
Yeah, we might go through. Someone hold my mic. There we go. And I can't see anything, so I'll have to.
You do it, and I'll do this bit.
Thank you, Startup News. Look what you started.
Sorry, that's me. I'm interested in this thing.
We should talk about this.
Oh, yes.
You've got a microphone, so you're going to talk about it.
No.
Sorry, I'll put it in this spot.
So if you scan this barcode, you will be able to QR code. QR code. You'll be able to see a bunch of different programs. Honestly, like there are also accelerators, which is really important, especially when you're starting out. You really need all these accelerators. And they also, like, the great news is after you do the accelerator, they will also promote you, which is really good for your business.
Okay.
Copilot feature to find specific.
Ooh, so
guide you to the best place for you.
So we have the data. So unfortunately, overall in Perth has fallen quite considerably.
All right.
Can you hold that for me while I get into my glasses?
Put it up.
So while we're padding, basically in Australia, Sydney's number 1, but they are globally ranked 31, and they went up 5 places. Melbourne is 2, and which is globally number 42, and they went up 2 places. Brisbane went up is number 3, and they lost 9 places at 111. And Perth was at number 4 in Australia, and we sank 9 places as well to globally 192 in the position. So it's right at the very top, I think it is. If you go to the actual main homepage, click on the homepage, it's literally just there. There you go, on the right-hand side. So it's done by Startup Link, which surprised me, I have to be honest, because given all the investment that we've done here, to see it fall was a surprise when I read that. So thank you very much for this. But still ahead of Adelaide. Yeah, still ahead of Adelaide. That's the main thing, let's be honest. There's always a silver lining. Yes. Cool. Right, got a bit to do to be busy. And it did surprise me, I've got to be honest, saying that AgTech was like our leading thing. So, hey look, someone's obviously sat and done a Google search somewhere. Come on, Startup Link. Yeah. Do your homework.
I don't know where the data comes from. Is it from surveys that's ignored from founders like us? Or
I would love to know. I would like to know, was it linked in with some of the work that Nate and that did at Mesh Points around how to build that report? We don't know. But
where is Nate? Yeah. He'll be the man.
We're going to find out. So, is Maggie here? Because if not, Scott's going to start soon.
All right. For those that came in late, Maggie's stuck in traffic, so we're just paying this out. Feel free to get in touch if you're interested in doing a talk. Actually, that might be... We've got a new website that's going to come out, and it's got a submit a talk feature, which isn't hooked up yet. So, yeah, that's pretty groovy.
In this instance, we can do a session which is called Ask a Founder a Question. So who wants to ask somebody a question?
All right.
Oh, is it now? Yeah, now. I was like, woohoo! Hey, Maggie's here! Maggie, you've got 5 minutes to do your presentation.
Do you need water or coffee or anything? Because we've still got some slides, we can go.
No, I'm good.
Okay, all right.
Well, that was perfect timing.
Nice. Well, sorry, you were about to ask a founder a question. We'll have to get to that later on. So next up in 2 weeks' time, we've got a cool story. Who's heard of Matilda in WA? Yeah, awesome. So they're going to come and tell their startup story and their investment journey and how they're scaling and everything. You're organising that one, right?
I think what's really cool is that they are not developers, so they will actually talk about how the pitfalls of building a startup, a tech startup, and getting investments when you have no tech co-founders. I think that's it really is an interesting story, and yeah, it should be great.
All right, that is formalities out of the way.
This is fun.
Do you want to introduce... Oh, yeah, you've got the microphone. Okay.
Look.
All right. The moment you've all been waiting for. Maggie is finally here after being stuck in horrible traffic. She runs a company called You Choose, which are doing the very admirable work of helping with cyberbullying and teens online, which is great. We're actually in a very similar space. I detect kids doing it, but you're trying to stop them doing it in the first place, which is awesome. So she's here to talk about, I think, 3 key elements of the... hidden dangers in Australia's tech scene, all the crap you've been through on the way of getting this off the ground. So please make her welcome Maggie Giovanni. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. All right, I'll get your deck up too.
Hi everyone. Sir Richard Branson once said, if someone offers you an amazing opportunity and you're not sure how to do it, say yes and learn how to do it later. That quote has served me considerably well during my startup journey. When it came to starting the business in finance, I took a deep dive and I went in and it turned out really well. When it came to this business, I also went into it. But the difference is I knew nothing about technology. So here's the thing, and where Sir Richard Branson's advice gets complicated. When it comes to app development and dealing with coding, learning to do it later can sometimes translate to learning the expensive lessons along the way. And And I'll tell you a bit about myself. I'm Maggie Chobano. I have 3 beautiful children, and my eldest daughter was bullied online, so I created an app to stop kids from cyberbullying and to give them that moment to stop and think before they're about to send anything hurtful online. Like many of you in this room, I had a vision, I had passion, and I had Sir Richard's voice in my head saying, just do it and figure it out later. What I discovered was a landscape of hidden dangers in regards to technology, because I am not a person in tech, and when I say I don't understand tech, I really mean I don't understand tech. So when it came to even like someone explaining debugging, like that did not mean anything to me. Now it does, but not then. So what was really important to me is to work with Australian developers. You know, we're inside the same country, we have the same markets, we understand. And what could go wrong? That's what I thought to myself. I think now looking back, I was very naive in my thinking approach. I didn't know anybody from the startup industry or anyone that I'd spoken to that had actually developed an app. So I think I left myself quite vulnerable in first mistake. Don't Google best app developers. Do not. It doesn't necessarily mean that the first person on the list is going to be a great app developer. My suggestion would be, if you're going down this space to anyone, would be to speak to people that have developed apps, that know who to direct you to. You know, the direction is everything. The experience and the wisdom that they can share with you is really so crucial. So 3 months into my development, I'd wasted a lot of my budget, and a developer contacts me and says, you know that core feature in your app? It's impossible. We're going to have to pivot to a different alternative. I didn't want this change, but I had no choice but to go along with it. So my thinking and looking back now was when I did the prototype 6 months before that, everything went perfect. There was not one time that I got the, we may not be able to do this, or we can do that, or pivot, or anything like that. And that would be a red flag for me, should have been a red flag, because someone who understands technology would explain to you during the prototype sort of the differences of what can and can't be done, so that you could make that informed decision of whether you wanted to go ahead. Now, I also got into a discussion with my developers about, we won't release your codes unless you agree to our terms. Okay. I really hate to say it, that it's happening with the entrepreneurs of today, but it's happening quite frequently. And I got myself mixed up where the actual contracts of the agreement were done in my company name. So You Choose Apps Proprietary Limited, everything was company. I signed the agreement as the director of the company. When it came to getting my codes, the actual other party's lawyer came back and said, she doesn't have the title director next to her signature, which now we say that she actually has signed in her personal capacity and not in her business. So we are introducing the clauses of a deed of separation in her personal capacity, not the company's. So it went through 9 months of legal ping-ponging to and fro. I can't tell you the tears and the sleepless nights and the really lighter bank account that I had and have because of it. But you get through that. It's very difficult along the way. I think the hardest thing for a business owner in technology who's sort of, navigating as they go along. It's actually the loneliness as well of not being able to speak to someone who can relate, because your friends and family, there's only so much that they understand, but they don't understand how you're feeling at that moment when your product that you've paid for with your hard-earned money is being held hostage. And it kind of feels like, you want your product and you can't get it. It's the most difficult thing, and it's worse than getting your kids to clean up their room. Like, I can't tell you the 9 months that we went through, most people would have just given up and they would have said, you know what, just start again. But I didn't. I persevered. I'm glad I did. I do have a product. It's available on the App Store, and I have a CTO now, Dave Wilson, who understands all the codes. So even if you're a person like myself who doesn't understand what Python means and JavaScript, you can still get there, getting the right person on board. Some things that I would have loved to have heard from people such as myself, really trying to build their dreams and build their vision, is really speak to people that have developed apps. It's so important. I can't stress to you enough the wisdom that we could share with you. Myself, and there's some even way more experience that have actually developed apps for a lot longer period, and we can provide you recommendations. The one thing that I believe now would have been so much beneficial than what happened is really having someone in the same state as well, because when you're dealing with different states, different laws apply. So that means that if you do find yourself in such a legal situation as I did, you have to sort of abide by the others' laws depending on your contracts. Going on to contracts, I know it's like going backwards a little bit, but there is the electronic version. There will be a reference to terms and conditions, which you'll click the button on the contracts and refer to the developer's terms and conditions page. And in fine print, it actually stipulates that they can be changed any time. So really speak to your lawyers and get those contracts done right from the get-go properly. I can't stress enough, I know lawyers cost a lot, right? But what is more expensive? Restarting your whole app right from scratch, or doing it right the first way at the beginning, and thinking of it more like a insurance policy, that if you should need it, it's there. But if you don't need it, which hopefully you don't, at least you've got that protection behind you. I'm not trying to say that all developers are bad or anything like that, by no means. We have amazing developers that I know of and I've met since this journey has happened. Honestly, it's just a really bad situation that I faced myself in and others face themselves in. But yeah, just reach out to anyone, I guess, that could help you. Building your dreams, it's really exciting. It's the adventure along the way, and the lessons that you will learn, sometimes the consequences of what we've been through, we can hopefully shed some light and really share our story, which I've done tonight, or today, should I say, yeah. So, hopefully if you've got any questions, just let me know. Happy to answer.
All right, thanks, mate.
No worries.
Yeah, and for the impromptu, just get up in front of people and speak to them. That was awesome. Who has questions for Maggie? All right, we've got a few. So we've got a roaming mic somewhere. Oh, you hold on to that one.
Sure.
Found it. We'll start here and go back.
Yeah, hi. I'm a developer. One of the things which I was thinking about is normally, particularly once we start an engagement, we would do some sort of technical assessment. But it sounds like these guys, they started developing and then were sort of figuring it out as they went. Is that what happened? And what was the technical hitch that they found where they were like, no, we have to pivot?
Yeah, okay. No, I don't believe that it was just figuring it out as they went. They're quite experienced, got a very, very big team. I think what's happened is you know who doesn't understand technology from the get-go, and you develop a prototype and you make all the promises based on, you pay the $10,000 that it costs for a prototype. And then you go, we can promise you everything that you want, and then it's like, well, that was easy. Well, how hard could a development be if that was so simple? And you go to the next phase and you get that new contract, which comes with new terms and conditions. But those terms and conditions can be amended behind the scenes, as you recall from my previous discussions. And then on top of that, they kind of know, and this is after speaking to many developers, what can and can't be done. If they're not sure about something, they usually will tell you, like, hey, Maggie, you're at prototype. I don't know if this is a feature that we can do, but you know what? We'll get back to you and let you know about it before anything goes ahead. The whole idea, looking back, it actually feels like, let's just get her to development. And this is not just my case, this is a lot of cases. Once she's in, she's signed the contract, she's already paying us money, she's already honouring her agreement, she can't go back on it, she'll just have to accept it. And that's what happened to me. So I honoured my agreement. The agreement was, let's say, 3-month development time frame and the payments to be made prior to. I made another mistake looking back, which I would probably have done differently, is I would have held off the last couple of payments before the product was actually released. There were issues, like spelling issues, which was not my fault, and they came with conditions to be fixed. So just simple things like that are not in your control, which then is put the onus on you, and it's already costly. Me, I'm not understanding technology from the beginning. I didn't know what Flutter was. I didn't know what Swift was. All these terminologies, I've had to learn along the way. Now, I would have liked personally to have understood the difference between a dual platform and a single platform and why it's built in that, and how much extra I would have paid having the maintenance, having it done that way. The transparency, I can't stress enough of how important it is for developers to be transparent to their customers. Just if I had known, like, look, if there's a bug in it and you're on Swift and a different one on Android as opposed to a dual platform, what are the maintenance costs for that? That is super crucial, because that really determines of whether someone like me can actually keep going on this project, and that wasn't explained to me.
Hi, thanks for that. Kind of related to that question, but as you look back now, do you get the sense that it turned out this way due to sort of an adversarial nature, or maybe a misalignment or miscommunication? Like, which end of that spectrum?
I would say another thing that you should look out for if you're ever looking at app developers is also the reviews. If there's 5-star reviews that look like, they're done by their mums, like really amazing, you need to ask the question, is there non-disparagement clauses as a reason that they're so shiny and beautiful? And really, especially the new coming developers, because they're usually the 5-star ones that I've noticed. As time goes by, if you do start noticing the negative ones, that's a really good thing. How are the developers responding to those negative ones? Are they really shutting them down with threats, or are they really empathetic towards the situation and resolution? I look back now and I see all the warning signs and the blinkers are on. I just didn't see them at the time. Do you have questions? Yes.
I'm a developer, and as a female, I guess I can see where this happens a lot. This isn't the first time I've heard this kind of story. And I know that it's a real minefield out there, and finding good people is hard when you don't understand the tech. Did you ever consider finding a tech co-founder, and why or why not?
When I first started this, I didn't even know about CTOs and even those terms, so that's how new I was to this coding. I did eventually reach out to someone who had developed an app here, a female. She referred me on to some developers who then referred me on to Dave Wilson, who is now a CTO of UChoose. So it's just that less burden upon me when it comes to like understanding codes and things like that. At the time, I didn't know that was a possibility. And going on to your question, I would suggest that really, if it's a really great developer to really understand, explain in layman's terms what that you're doing, the instructions and the processes. For someone who is like, I don't know, a newborn baby to this like coding industry, if they still don't understand, you know, if there's kind of like one-day courses. I know Kate Irwin, she does, she codes, really great, just to understand some basics that you've done due diligence, I guess, in the right way, that they're not kind of putting in all their life savings on something that is such a high risk. I've reached out after my whole ordeal and formed a really great networking group of other women who have had really bad experiences. One I spoke to had actually lost $500,000. Right, she had to rebuild her product, and the second developer, very lengthy process, went to court. In the end, she got a really bad product as well. Another friend that I've never met, we've just spoken online in Sydney, she developed a product with a developer in Sydney. I can't remember exactly how much she lost, but about $30,000 to $40,000. Then she hired directly a developer in Nepal, thinking that would be an easier option. Her product was held hostage as well for quite some time. It was a really difficult, we were communicating, and as her friend I was very concerned for her mental well-being. She was not coping very well, having invested all her savings. But she found a developer in the end. I don't know who exactly, but apparently he's helping her for free because she really feels, or he feels for her situation. So she's got a product on the market and she seems quite happy at the moment, which I'm really happy to see that she got through that.
Question.
Maggie, thanks for being so real and raw this morning. It's really appreciated. Sorry you've had such a shitty experience.
Yeah.
I was really interested with Dave driving the technical side now. What's your current sort of team and how are you kind of building and evolving the products currently?
So at the moment we're still available on Apple devices. We want to get more users onto the Apple devices before we start rolling out onto Android and really get the engagement happening. Look, as far as, anything like bugs and anything like techie, it's really great to rely upon Dave. In regards to the codes and things like that, if anything needs to be done, we sort of work together based on, a structured calendar events thing that we've got. It's going really great. With the new improvements that we want to make on the existing app device, it would just, sort of make that product even better from where it's at. But it's really great to have that vision and someone behind you, really. Like, it is lonely when you're on your own, but having that CTO and having your developers, even though, let's say you're engaged as the subcontractors on someone's behalf, just look at it as part of your team. If they fail, it's really hard for them, so sort of go with them on that journey. I mean, you can't determine their success. Obviously, they're the ones that are going through that journey, but at least be there for them, yeah, if you can.
One last question. Were these, hi, maybe, was this outsourced or was
this was outsourced, yes,
yeah.
It was outsourced to developers in a different, no, it's in Australia. In Australia. The way I came across these developers was obviously a recommendation of someone who I'd never met, so it's not someone that I'd known. They were way priced out of my range, so they recommended these guys. Look, going back and sort of learning from your things that you would do differently, and you would shake yourself and go like, oh my gosh, I would have trusted my gut instinct, right? Sometimes when you're speaking to someone and if you get that feeling of a car salesman, I would actually now follow my gut instinct if something doesn't feel right. I mean, it's like you're sort of entering into some kind of marriage. So when you're doing this app development, do it in phases and really get to know each other, whether you want to stay in that relationship, you know, because you're going to be together for the long term, you know, but you're still developing an app together. Yeah.
Cool. That's half past. Any more questions? We've got a couple more. We'll do those and then call it.
Thanks, Maggie, for sharing your story. I've got a similar sentiment and wanted to share a little bit about importance of due diligence, because like I'm a technical person and I've had different projects. So what you've come to realize sooner than later is that oftentimes people who call them experts are not necessarily experts. So a couple of examples. Once I was looking for a search engine optimization agency for one of my projects, and I've done my due diligence. So basically, I went to Google, automatically scraped all the top pages, and then there is a tool that can actually validate the traffic that goes to the agency website. And basically you would assume that SEO agency should have a decent traffic to their own website, right? Turns out that I was looking for like Australian SEO experts, and only about, I don't know, 3 agencies were showing good, like decent numbers, and all the rest were like, you know, having 100 visitors to their page, maybe 1,000, but not like in thousands what it should be really. So that's one thing. Another example I had, I was setting up Google search campaign, paid ads campaign for myself, for my wife's business. And then at some point when we didn't see a good return on investment, we decided, okay, let's try out the agency just for the sake of, you know, baseline perspective. And what turned out, we've run the agency for about 2 months, 1.5 months time, and the performance of the campaign decreased during that time. So I think the good rule of thumb, or how to maybe test this beforehand if you don't have this like technical skill, is actually you see case studies on the agency website. Just contact all, like, I don't know, at least 5 of these people and ask them about their experiences, especially drill down into the negative reviews on Google. And if you can get hands-on to these people, then that can be one of the ways to check this out.
Who else was it? The final question, and then...
My question to you is about collaboration, idea, and financial hardship. So it looks like you did collaborations via network, right? And another question is about idea. In your hard time, how did you stick with same idea? Because every time you get new idea when you work on projects, and when you have financial hardship, how did you tackle that? Thanks.
Okay, so that is, yeah, we could actually be writing a book on this. trust me. The financial hardship, that was extremely difficult. Everything that I put in my life savings, and we had sold our family caravan for this project. So literally we were making ends meet to make this happen. It was just like the dream was there. We were going to do whatever it took as a family. When this came about, I had received the R&D rebate. So I had a little bit of money there. I was like, yes, I got some money, finally. Okay, and it went on to lawyers. Right, so literally everything that I wanted to create, to expand, to go to Android, to really see the app develop from where it's at, that had happened. It was a lot of sleepless nights. Like, I can't tell you, had it gone through my mind about quitting, about going, this is just too hard, like why would I keep going, like it's just madness. But there's some fire in you as a business owner. I guess, I don't know if you call it a little bit crazy as well, but it's there and you just can't let it go. And then you find yourself in a direction, just like my app, which direction are you going to take, this way or that way? And I chose the direction of perseverance. I'm at that stage where I look back from what I went through, and you really don't realise how strong you are until you go through it. The saying goes that I always remember, everything works out in the end, and if it doesn't work out, it means it's not the end. So that kept me going through every single hard time that I could possibly think of.
Can I just say, I think, round of applause. We live in a different world now, right? And I know I'm going to piss off the 40% of those in here trying to sell their services to the startup founders. But it is so easy now to create a product, right? We use it internally, like literally to create an MVP, to do a spike, and then we'll take that and then we give it to our developers, right? So if you haven't adopted the AI tools like Lovable, like literally we've created so many different portals now where we've literally, for the sake of 200 USD, we've been able to create an almost finished product and take it and prove out that point. You don't need these companies anymore. You can literally go on and spend the $200 and you can literally tell it, I don't like it in red, I want it in pink. Please change it. And it'll go off and then it goes, oh, it's got an error. It says, click the button that says fix error. It is so easy. You can then connect it to Supabase and you can pay $20 a month for Supabase, right? So you've got a database in the back end and you can have users. It is, I hate to say it, developers, there will always be a need for them, but AI is either giving them superpowers, but what you've been through will hopefully be a thing of the past, because if you've got an amazing idea, you now own that power, right? You can go on and you can put your credit card across, you can spend the $200, you can get the 1,000 credits, and you can just give it the prompts, and you can talk to it like you're talking to a human or like a developer and say, I want this. There's lots of them out there. There's Cursor AI, there's other ones. The ones that I would recommend as being a dumbass when it comes to this stuff is Lovable. But definitely go and check it out, and if you're going to go and build a prototype, there's nothing better. It's so easy and so quick these days. And then you can take that and you can literally take the code, because I've got 14 developers next door who are all like, oh, wow, like on the fence about it. And they gave it to it and they were like, actually, it's pretty good. It puts a lot of extra stuff in it. It makes loads of extra bits. But actually, if you gave it then the command to go and clean it up, it went and cleaned it all up and gave it to them in a way that, a team would have done. That cost would have cost you easily $80, $90, $100,000 in the past. It cost us literally $200. So my recommendation is today. I'm sorry that wasn't around when you started.
Yeah, that's all right.
So there's probably exceptions to the rule. Like you were making an iOS keyboard, right? So it wasn't like a typical web app where you got a database and a CRUD type thing.
It's a very unique product in the sense of we've replicated a duplicate of the keyboard on the Apple devices that looks exactly the same, and we basically get the kid's device, delete the English keyboard, activate YouChoose that's already got an inbuilt profanity list of about 400 to 500 keywords. But the brilliance of it is the parents are able to add to the word list personal details to prevent grooming and bank details, just a couple of digits of a bank account or credit card.
Don't assume it can't do it. It's like literally, we were the same. We were like, you can, even in languages, like it'll do React. Yeah. And the best thing is, this is as bad as it'll ever be.
Yeah.
Right? So, like now, it's so quick to bring something to market just to test your idea. So,
a number of side things I made in Cursor last month is awesome.
Yeah, it literally gives you superpowers.
Yeah, I just wanted. I am a software engineer, but I also 100%. Even at the job that I'm doing as my side hustle, I still we just do AI all the time. But I think one thing for every founder, especially non-technical founders, just make your developers do documentation or. Also now you can put it in ChatGPT or Claude and make it give you documentation. So now you have and you understand what's going on and make it even explain it to you in if you need to, because it's why not? And then it will be much easier to just develop and test.
You'll also need it for your R&D claim.
Good point.
Trust me. Thank you very much. Have a huge round of applause.
Awesome. Thank you, Maggie. So don't forget there's some food at the back. Get to know each other. It's the best bit of Morning Startup. Although our extended intro, I reckon that was pretty cool today, yeah.
we should make that a thing, though. Ask a founder a question.
Ask a founder a question.
There's some of us are all through that journey at different stages. So
don't forget, 2 weeks' time, we've got the very cool talk on Matilda. So looking forward to that. The two founders from Matilda coming to talk about their journey. It's going to be awesome. See you there. Thanks. I found a sundowner tonight at the pub. Come down.
Scott's buying the drinks.